first exercise, a very low base all the way up to a very high level exercise where we can prevent falls. So the first exercise, let me explain to you guys before we start, okay? So the first exercise is what we call a B-stand squat hinge. So the purpose of this exercise is to build a single leg strength, okay, in a very important way, in a stable environment. So what you're gonna do, right, is you're gonna make sure that you're gonna keep all the weight above one leg by having the other foot to gently toe touch at the back. What we are essentially doing is we are displacing our body up and down on a single leg strength to make sure that we train the legs to be able to have both the maximal strength and power in order for us to prevent the falls. Okay, and then we'll move on to a second exercise. So that's progression 1. Progression 2, we'll have a single leg balance with a forward toe touch. And the purpose of this exercise after we do the first one, where we have now strength and power built in our body, is to train a single leg stability and mobility. So very simple, you're gonna go on a single leg balance, and then you're gonna take the other foot to reach forward as far as you can. And then the work is really being done by the rear foot stabilizing the forward movement of the leg. Remember, balance training, it is a matter of making sure that we don't move our body, and stability training, which is what we are doing right now, is a matter of how can we manage movement when our body is moving. Okay, and then the third exercise, we have a forward lunge with a hand reach. So what happened is in this exercise, we now move into a greater displacement with a greater momentum. And the purpose of this is to really train the body to be able to weight transfer. So the first two exercises, we don't really transfer the weight towards the front. However, on this exercise, on the third progression, once we build single leg strength on the first one, single leg stability on the second one, third one, we're gonna now train the body in terms of how we can transfer the weight from one leg to the other, and then bring ourselves back. And then the next exercise, we have what we call a forward step to balance. And the purpose of this is simply to teach the body how to decelerate and stabilize in a quick step. And how do we do this is very simple. So just now, we just teach the body how we step forward and transfer the weight towards the front. But now we're gonna have a very quick step where we do a kind of a quick forward jump and land on a single leg. Learn how to stabilize ourselves, learn how to control the weight in a very quick and reactive manner, and then bring ourselves back. Good. So the first exercise we did, we trained the strength. Second, we trained the balance. Third, we trained how to change momentum. Fourth, we train how we change momentum and decelerate a quick step, and then we come back. The next exercise, we have a forward step to balance, which is the same exercise as what we did, but we're gonna add in a different elements of stability where we have our hands to reach in multi-direction. The purpose of this exercise is to teach the body how to decelerate and stabilize a quick step, which is the same as before, but now we're gonna do it with a different angle of force. So from this, we are just gonna do a forward step, but instead of using two arms to reach forward, we're gonna take each arms and reach in the diagonal motion and then towards the side. So simply, we're gonna step forward, reach the hands forward, reach forward, take one hand and reach across in front and across the other way, take the other hand and reach in front and across the other way, followed by taking the hands and reach 90 degrees across one way, and take the hand to reach 90 degrees across the other way, essentially challenging our body in different planes of motion. And then the next exercise, we're gonna bring everything in together. This is the highest level. I'll highly recommend we don't go here unless you're very confident that you're able to do this, okay? So it's gonna be a multi-directional step to balance with a multi-directional hand reach. So we teach the body how to decelerate and stabilize a quick step with a very, very highly unstable motion with various angles of force. Okay, so we're gonna step forward, and then we're gonna do the same thing as what we did before, using our hands to reach in different direction. Now we're gonna step sideways, and again, use the hands to reach in different direction. The key is you have to learn to stabilize yourself. Okay, you see, I almost fell there. And then you're gonna bring yourself back in, okay? So again, we're gonna go into a forward step with one hand reaching across, a forward step with the other hand reaching across. We're gonna step towards the side, one hand reaching across, towards the same side with the other hand reaching across, almost fall there. And then the last one, we're gonna rotate back, reach one hand across, and rotate back, reach the other hand across. Okay, this is the last progression. So going, consolidating how we're gonna do all this together, right, is first of all, we're gonna train single leg strength. That is the purpose of the first exercise. And then we're gonna train single leg balance and stability. Once we achieve both, we're gonna learn how to transfer weight on the third exercise. And then on the fourth exercise, we learn how to transfer weight with a quick step where our single leg will have to stabilize against a forward momentum, followed by a quick step with a multi-directional hand reach to bring the instability up a notch. And then lastly, on the last exercise that we saw, we're gonna do a multi-directional step with a multi-directional hand reach, simply because when we fall, we don't always fall forward. So we're gonna teach the body how we can stabilize in all angles. Okay, now, if you guys can, and if you guys would like to, please let's do this exercise together. And these are the steps that we can do this, okay? Okay, so it's very important for us to understand that if we are unable to perform all these exercises in a very stable or in a very stable environment, or simply you cannot stabilize yourself, please remember to use a chair, or you're gonna use a wall where you can stabilize yourself as you go through this motion, okay? So for each leg, we're gonna do 10 to 12 reps. But if you're strong enough to do it without assistance, then you can do it on yourself without the support of a chair or a wall. Good. And when we do this, right, we're gonna make sure that we do it slowly and then go to a range of motion that you're comfortable. Don't worry if this is a bit fast, I can understand. All these videos will be uploaded and you guys can revisit this, okay? Now, back to the second exercise. Okay, again, if you're not very stable for this exercise, please use a chair or a wall, okay? Now, we're simply gonna take one leg and reach forward as far as we can. If you can hover the foot off the floor, that would be great. If not, a toe touch on the floor in front of you will be good as well. Okay? Again, it's very important for you to be able to stabilize yourself. If you find yourself unable to do so, please use a support like a chair or a wall, okay? We're gonna again do between 10 to 12 reps per leg. Okay, you don't have to change direction as like me, I'm just changing direction so that I can show you guys from a front view and side view. This is essentially the same movement pattern, going forward and toe touch. For the third exercise, I want you guys to just step forward and use both arms to reach towards the front as far as you can. You're gonna make sure that you transfer the weight towards the front before you push yourself back, okay? The range of motion in terms of how far you want to go and how low you want to go is totally dependent on you. Again, we are doing between 10 to 12 reps per leg. The range of motion is up to you, okay? Do something that is within your comfort level. Okay, fourth exercise, if you guys are doing, keep going, do your best, be careful. Stay with me, huh? We got a couple more to go. So now, instead of just a forward step and a forward reach, we're gonna step forward, quickly pick up the foot at the back so that we can learn to stabilize ourselves with a single leg when we are doing a very quick step. The range of motion is totally up to you, okay? If you cannot jump, what I'll recommend you do is to step forward and pick up the rear foot. You don't have to go very far. You can even jump and land on the same spot. If jumping is uncomfortable for you, you don't have to do it. Again, just a forward step and then pick up the rear foot and use the hands to reach forward as far as you can to recruit the hip muscles. Again, 10 to 12 reps is generally a good number. Okay, now this is the tough one, okay? We are doing what we did on the previous exercise, but now instead of using our hands to reach forward, you want to use one hand to reach across the other way towards the front, okay? So right hand towards the left front, left hand towards the right front. And if you want to challenge yourself, as like what you see in the video, instead of reaching forward, you can reach 90 degrees out towards the side, okay? Good. So we're gonna make sure that we use the hands to reach forward and stabilize our legs before we bring ourselves back, okay? If you are unable to stabilize yourself, then don't go as far or don't go as fast. Again, per leg, we're gonna do a total of 10 to 12 reps. The key to this is to learn how to stabilize yourself, okay? Remember, functional training is not just about strength. It's about your ability to stabilize yourself in space. Okay, if you like the challenge. Okay, this will be the last one, okay? Unless you're very confident, I will recommend you to take it very easy for this, okay? Now, we are essentially doing what we did before, taking our hands forward, reaching as we step, but now instead of just stepping towards the front, we're also gonna step sideways and still use the hands to reach in multiple directions, okay? Good, as you can see, I almost fall there, so be very careful, this is really tough, okay? So we got forward and back, step, we got a side to side step, and then we got a rotational step. My hands are just reaching towards the front. I try not to reach towards the side too much because it's really gonna throw me off balance, as what you can see in this video, okay? So once we go forward and back, we go side to side, now we're gonna rotate our legs back. Good, and change legs, okay? If you guys are not very sure when it comes to this exercise, I know we are limited by time, feel free to contact me via my email or my contact number so that I can clarify some of the exercises for you guys, okay? But the most important thing is gonna make sure that you are safe. Do something that is within your capability. If you are unsure, then you're gonna make sure that you use a chair or you lean against the wall to do this, okay? And of course, if you want to do any kind of jumping motion as what we see in the video, make sure there's an open space and nothing around you that might possibly trip you as you do this exercise, okay? Again, all exercises, we have 10 to 12 reps as a general rule of thumb. Okay, so we have gone through all 6 exercises, and these exercises you can again repeat the video based on the recording. If you have any questions, you can drop me a message or an email, I will try to answer them as much as I can, okay?